In preparing for today, I had to reflect on this couple and their dynamic, both individually and as a couple. As you all know, on one side, we have a very outgoing bride who has never met a stranger and instantly draws people in with her energy. And then we have a more reserved groom who takes a minute to warm up to new people, but when he does, you see the heart of gold within. So what brought these two together? Call it fate or destiny, or just the result of an extremely awkward question at the end of an exercise class, when Melissa was worn out and vulnerable to being charmed. But everything that has happened to lead us to today happened because it involved these two people who complement each other beautifully.
Just keeps getting better and better. Happy wedding day. Hey Bear, love you. Think you're the prettiest. I just want to say that I will love you forever. I just know that marrying you will be the best decision I've ever made, and I couldn't be happier about it. I don't want to get too sappy, but you really are the best, and you're the best butt. Also, you're the best puppy dog mom. Love you. P.S. The bracelet seems small, so if it doesn't fit, we'll get it extended.
Taking the missing pieces of all that once was yet to come. I know there must be some reason, some objective truth. Some semblance of hope, or at least something to hold on to.
From their shared glances across the room to their endless supplies of nicknames for each other and inside jokes, you learn quickly that Boo Bear and Shoobs are a couple that love to laugh together and to make each other laugh. They are the best of friends and madly in love with each other, as well as their dog Bullet, also known as Bully. Apparently no one is safe from nicknames in this family. They both share a deep love for friends and family. Having formerly been their neighbor, I can share with you that if you try to make plans with them the week of, they can't because they're off to the lake for the weekend with Shuby's family, or off to visit Melissa's, or off with college friends. However, no matter where they're headed, there's an excellent chance they didn't shut their garage door after they left. Family means everything to this couple, and I can't wait to see the beautiful family they build together. So what I'll say to you both now, and to everyone in attendance, so that they can support you in this, is to keep laughing. Keep your marriage like the friendship and love you have built so far, light, joyful, and filled with love and respect. Don't fill your marriage with expectations for each other, but rejoice and celebrate those parts of each other that are unique and brought you to where you stand right now. With the family that you do build, in whatever shape or manner that happens, do the same. Every addition to your family will come with their own individual brand of awesome. Allow that awesomeness to flourish by encouraging their special spirit and worldview. And in doing so, find the richness that each of your parents have found in you. That is, of seeing your child grow into a full, unique, and precious person that is the direct product of what they did throughout their marriage, and which starts for both of you by what we do here today. Shuby, live your life being the type of man and husband you'd want your daughter to marry someday. Melissa, be that same example to your son. Live your lives with purpose, meaning, and above all, kindness. Melissa and Shuby have written vows for each other to celebrate their union, and at this point they will share them with each other and with everyone here.
Shuby, the only difficulty I had when sitting down to write these vows was how to limit my words. From the moment you approached me with your smooth line of, "Hey, are you a doctor or something?" I knew I was in for an adventure. And that it has been. From falling downstairs while carrying pizza, to making me drink natty before a half marathon, to excursions in Thailand, you constantly keep me smiling and have made my life better. While your fun-loving nature and your quirky analogies make me laugh, your never-ending support and love has provided the foundation for our great relationship. From carrying me after I broke my toe, to being the best cleaning lady, now landscaper around, to simply calming me down when I try to jump to dramatic conclusions. You are always a constant source of stability in my life. I hope to provide you that same stability for you for the entirety of our lives, and I promise to allow you to continue to be that anchor in mine. I promise to continue to laugh together, even if it's just another shoebism you come up with. I'll try to convince you that veggies are in fact healthy, and try to bribe you to go to the gym with me in the mornings, all while not judging you when you eat hard-boiled eggs and bundt cake for breakfast, or Hot Pockets for dinner. You have more confidence in me than I have in myself, and I promise to share this confidence in you, in myself, in us, and in our family. I promise to continue to grow with you and to grow as an individual as we grow as a couple. This will keep us strong and make our family strong. I promise to love and support our future children even more than we do bully, and let you know how good they are at Frisbee as well. I will always be your biggest advocate and supporter, even when you don't want to hear it. I know there will be tough times. I know we will be imperfect. There will be times we don't agree and times that our opinions differ, but I always will listen to you with sincerity and stand by you at all times, knowing that together we can accomplish anything. I will be honest with you, kind, patient, and forgiving, even if we're running late and I wanted to leave 30 minutes ago. I promise to love your family as if they were my own, and I can promise you will be treated as such by mine. I vow to love you wholeheartedly, unconditionally, without hesitation. I take you as my husband, as my best friend. I love you not only for what you are, but what I am with you, and most importantly, what we are together. I will always love you just as you are and support you through all that is before us from this day forward for the rest of our lives.
Thanks, Bear. As you may have seen, we have 1 Corinthians down the aisle, and I always thought that that was sort of a cliche until you really start to love somebody, and then you realize that it's really true, and Melissa showed me what real love is, and I just want to thank her for that. It says love is patient and love is kind, and Lord knows I require extraordinary patience. It says doesn't envy and boast, and it is not proud. But I have a confession that even though I'm envious of your beautiful head of hair, you don't boast to me about it. And even though it says not to be proud, I can't describe how proud I am to have someone as beautiful, smart, and thoughtful and caring as you to be my wife. 1 Corinthians says, love is not self-seeking, not easily angered, and keeps no record of things. And here's a quick story. When we were first dating, Melissa had a flight very early in the morning, and I decided to go out with my friends and have too many beverages. And instead of driving her to the airport, I prayed to the porcelain gods. And I thought I would never, ever live that down. But I can tell you honestly, she's actually never brought that up in a fight ever. And I can't believe it. And finally, it says that love always protects, always trusts, always perseveres. And here's my biggest promise. I will love you always and forever. I will always be true to you, and I will persevere through anything. Because the last thing that Corinthians says is that love never fails, and I love you way too much to ever let that happen.
The ring has, for time immemorial, been an external sign of both the love and the pledge couples have made to each other. We've all heard that rings are circles without a beginning or an end, thus a symbol of idealized love, and they are truly that. But for me, they are more and are a pledge in and of themselves. Like the promises made aloud today, married people promise to wear rings for the world to see, exactly like we promise to always be close to the person we are marrying and to hold ourselves out to the world as married. We also promise to treasure our rings, especially when we aren't wearing them. This mirrors the promise being made today of being an active and attentive part of the other person's life, especially when circumstances separate us. Finally, when we take off our rings to protect them against harm, we promise to put them back on as soon as we are able, exactly like the promise we are making today to put the happiness of our couple ahead of our individual desires. I think this pragmatic promise illustrates love beautifully. It tells our spouse, I promise to be by your side, to take notice when you are not there, either physically or emotionally, and to always return as soon as I can. So in the end, the rings we exchange, to me, are more about taking account of ourselves and being accountable to those to whom we have made this special promise. Today, we have these perfect rings that the couple have selected and adored. Melissa and Shuby will now exchange rings to honor this tradition and establish this tradition for themselves. Shuby, as you place the ring on Melissa's finger, please repeat after me. With this ring, I marry you and join my life to yours.
I marry you and join my life to yours.
It is a symbol of my eternal love.
It is a symbol of my eternal love.
My everlasting friendship.
My everlasting friendship.
And the promise of all my tomorrows.
And the promise of all of my tomorrows.
Melissa, as you place the ring on Shuby's finger, please repeat after me. With this ring, I marry you and join my life to yours.
I marry you and join my life to yours.
It is a symbol of my eternal love.
As a symbol of my eternal love,
my everlasting friendship,
and
the promise of all my tomorrows.
Got a way of keeping me up.
By the power vested of me by the state of Ohio, it is my esteemed pleasure to introduce to you here for the first time as husband and wife, Shuby and Melissa.
Love is too
You may now share your
precious
first
to
kiss with husband and wife.
trade. Rested eyes, and you look beautiful in the morning light. Well, I don't know how you feel the air in your lungs, 'cause you could talk your way around the big old sun. But I keep hoping that the end won't come, honey. I could listen to you all day long. When the words run out along with our old age, I still hear you in many other ways. And if I fall blind, I will see you the same. I will always find a way to love you, babe.
It's time to get loud, because for the first time ever, I'd like to introduce to you your bride and groom, Melissa and Shuby!
And when the words run out along with our old age, I'll still hear you in many other ways. And if I fall blind, I will see you the same. I will always find a way to love you, babe. I will always find a way to love you, babe. I will always find a way to love you, babe.
Hi everybody, I'm Alex, Melissa's maid of honor. I'd just like to thank both sets of parents, the Tripolis and the Gutkowskis again, for putting on this amazing evening and helping everybody out. Also, huge shout out to Melissa and Shuby. I know they spent the better part of the year planning this event tonight, and it's just truly amazing. Well, mostly Melissa, but Shuby, you have certainly impressed me with your carpenter skills this week, so. Melissa and I met our first day of college at the University of Miami. And sorry to all you OSU, PSU fans, but we've got a little bit of a tradition going on with these speeches. So, and a big game tonight. All right, that's better. So we lived in the dorm rooms next to each other. First day of school is when we met, and we basically became best friends right away. I could go on and tell a series of college stories about Melissa and all of our adventures, but I'd rather talk about how special she is to me and why we've become and have stayed best friends for the last 13 years. When I got to college, just having turned 18 and coming from Long Island, New York, I pretty much thought that I knew it all. And Melissa taught me that no, I did not. She's taught me so much over the years, starting with college football, of course. A longtime fan of Penn State, she grew up going to the games with her family, and she was able to teach me all I ever needed to know about college football, the U, and its legacy, so I fit right in. She's taught me loyalty. For those of you who know Melissa, you know that she's fiercely loyal. It doesn't matter if you're in the right or the wrong, she's got your back, even when you're embarrassing yourself. Melissa is driven and dedicated. For those of you who may not know, Melissa was initially supposed to go to the University of Miami on a soccer scholarship, but unfortunately she got injured her senior year of college and wasn't able to play. So as a result, she spent the better part of our freshman year as that girl in the boot. And I'd say that it took most of our first 3 years of college for her to recover, just because she couldn't stay off her damn foot. She had a bike in her dorm room, the only person I ever knew to do that, so that she could ride her bike and work out while watching Netflix, truly mastering the skill of time management. By senior year, she was fully recovered, and we had both finally turned 21, so we could get into any club or bar in Miami that we wanted to. I had pretty much had a job set up for me at that point, and Melissa had spent all summer studying for her MCAT, so we were in a position to just sit back, relax, go partying, and go to the beach. So what did Melissa do? She decided that she had to try out for the Miami track team, and of course she made it as a walk-on. I couldn't imagine why anybody would want to sign up voluntarily for 5 a.m. practices and running around in the South Florida heat, but that's Melissa. Her determination and her competitiveness would not let her simply sit back. It's one of the things that I admire most about her, and other than my husband, I'm not sure that I've ever met anyone more competitive, which is one of my favorite traits in people. After undergrad, Melissa moved to Philly, and I followed her a few short years later. When things got rough for me in my personal life, Melissa was there, as she always is, and once again, we got the opportunity to be roommates. She was in her first year of residency, working all hours of the night, sleep deprived, but she always made time for me and my crazy medical questions. And after that year, she moved to Columbus to begin her ophthalmology residency. So we figured, as a Penn State Miami fan, she'd go to Columbus for a few years, but of course she'd be back. And then Shuby came along. I haven't gotten to spend a ton of time with Shuby. Unfortunately, the long-distance relationship that Melissa and I share makes that quite difficult. But here's what I have seen. Shuby knows how to have a good time. And Friday's adventures out to Put-in-Bay, along with all the other wedding festivities, have certainly proved this. And he forces Melissa to let loose and have a good time as well. In the 13 years that we've been friends, I've truly never seen her happier. Shuby, I'm not sure if you know this, but very early on in your relationship, you guys went to some sporting event. I think it might have been a baseball game. And Melissa told me that during the game, you were super drunk, and you told her that you were going to marry her. And she was telling me that, and she thought it was kind of weird, but she also really liked it. But I didn't think it was strange at all. I figured you knew that you had caught a diamond in the rough. Oh, I don't know if I can announce that with all the kids, though. We'll just leave it at marry her. But I figured you knew what you had caught, and you weren't going to let that go, so you were trying to lock it down as quick as possible, and that could only be a good sign. You're also willing to put up with a lot. Whether that's Melissa forcing you to go to the gym at early in the morning when you don't want to, or when she told you that the three of us would be spending New Year's weekend in Miami for the Orange Bowl, complete with us sharing a hotel room when the Airbnb didn't work out. You've never complained once. And yes, you were the third wheel. You're also very kind, loyal, and dedicated, and I can tell that you'll do anything to make Melissa happy, which is really all I could ever ask for in a partner for my best friend. So in closing, there's definitely a lot of me that misses our 20s and college years and all the fun that we used to have. And I do miss those days of being your roommate. But I couldn't think of a better person for you to start your life with, and I can't wait to watch you guys uncover all the adventures that life has in store. and of course, many more couple vacations with us and the puppies. So please, everybody, raise your glass and help me in wishing Melissa and Shuby a lifetime of happiness. To the newlyweds.
I'm the best of all the men here. My name is Tyler. I'm happy to be up here in my custom suit under this very bright light. So, first of all, I just want to point out that not only was Shuby born to the same parents, has the same middle name, went to the same elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, also married a doctor. He's always wanted to be like me. I think the best example of that is probably when we were very little kids. I had told Shuby that I could breathe fire, and he was like, "How can you do that?" And I said, "Well, I went to the neighbor's house, I ate some berries, now I can breathe fire." So he wanted to be like me. He went and ate these berries. Luckily, my Aunt Pee-wee was driving by, saw him eat the berries, and it turns out the berries are like really poisonous. So he had to go to the hospital and get activated charcoal in his stomach pumped. My dad talked the doctor into giving activated charcoal to me as well to like teach me a lesson, which you would probably get fired for now if I had to guess. But that's just one example, and I have notes here. So I think people tend to think that me and Shuby are kind of more different than we probably really are, which I sort of understand. And he was always really good at sports. I was really bad at band. But you grow up together, and you have the same parents. You sort of get, you can't really help it. We both survived. We got through like a very teenage little sister. My father, who's like one of the most intelligent people I know, but still like a total Polak. I wrote some stuff here, foot story. Oh, so one time my brother's foot was broken, and my dad ran it over again with his car. Also, cautionary tale. So there's a family tradition, Melissa, of the men cutting off their fingers with table saws. One of my like first memories is me and Shuby, because we're like a team or whatever, we're brothers, so we're like looking through sawdust trying to find my dad's like piece of finger to take to the hospital with us. So don't let him use a table saw. We also learned to drive from my dad. He used to do things like turn off the odometer in case the odometer doesn't work, so you can like guess your speed, and cover your eyes, I guess, in case you ever go blind while you're driving. And you gotta be ready for everything, Oh, so that was like the anecdotal story part. So the good part is, so one thing I want to say is that the ability to have like healthy, happy relationships is modeled to you by your parents, which my parents were very good at. My parents never fought in front of us. I kind of remember like arguing about how small the soap has to be before you throw it away, and like stuff like that. But I don't know if they didn't fight or just didn't fight in front of us. But they're very good. They were always a team. I was trying to remember like an example, and I remember one time being at a high school football game, and someone made sort of like a comment about like, do you regret taking a few years off to raise your kids? And I remember almost getting kicked out of the football game. My dad did not like that. But anyways, so we might seem very different, but we aren't. I don't think we are. I mean, I've known you most of my life, all of my life. Most of my life. No, you, it's all your life. No. So the one thing that we learned from our parents too, and that we now have in common, is that we're both man enough to marry someone who's very smart and beautiful, and very successful, and all that more than we are. So with that, I'm glad to have Melissa in our family. She's good for my brother, I think, and good for the family. So cheers.
you.